Okay, class, welcome to this first part of preparing your paper. So I'm going to show you how to prepare a paper without a ruler. This is the image I'm going to be using. It has a grid marked off on it, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So what you're going to do is you're going to get a big piece of paper like this, and you're going to fold it in half. This is going to be your guide, and you're going to trace it. So that's going to measure 12 by 18. The next step is to make sure that that rectangle is proportional to your photograph. So I'm going to line up this corner of my photo with this corner of my rectangle I drew. And I'm going to take a piece of paper. So I have already cut a strip from that long piece that I just folded up to use. I'm going to extend. So these two corners are matched up. I'm going to extend this piece of paper through this corner, through this edge of my photo that I'm using, and all the way up to the edge here. I'm going to make a mark right here. If you make a mark on this side, you're going to remove that. So I'm going to take this piece of paper as a guide, and I'm just going to remove that thin strip. So I don't need that anymore. Now, if your photo orientation is this way, well, really you want to have, if this is horizontal, then this needs to be horizontal. But let's say you have a photo, if you were doing something that's more, let's say like this, you would do the same thing. And you would run your piece of paper through there. And up to here, it would come off on this part of the paper. Then you would remove this section, okay? But I'm gonna keep this as it is originally. So that's that. And now I can cut this off, erase this. So I'll just take my eraser and erase that part. I don't want that. I'm going to remind myself. I'm just going to remove that part I don't need. And I have a little broom here. Just brush that off. Now, how do you divide this? I'm going to, so this length is 18. So 18 divided by 4 is actually 4.5 inches if you want to use a ruler. But if you're going to use a piece of paper, what you're going to do is you're going to mark this spot off where it comes like that. And then you're going to trim that off. To divide this in 4, you're going to fold this like this into half, and then you're going to meet halfway this way. And you're going to do the same. You're going to meet this one in halfway. So you have 4 equal parts. Okay, I'm going to make a little mark. Okay, so that's where I'm going to mark my rectangle. I need to mark on both sides. So I'm going to line it up, make my marks. So I'm going to line it up over here, make my marks. So I'm going to use this, or actually I like to use a folded edge because it's a little sturdier. And I'm going to do my grid lines in this direction. And then you can do the same for the other direction. I'm going to take another piece of paper and I'm going to just make a mark, cut it off, fold it in half. Fold it in quarters. And then go this direction. And I'll just make a little mark so I can see it a little clearer. Go in this direction, make my marks. And this direction, make my marks. Then I'll use that paper again. This isn't as long, so I think, well, actually, this is perfect. Okay, so I'll line those up. Make my grid. Okay, so I have my grid there. Now I could go through the same process with the photograph that I just am going to use. So what I've done is I taped off the section that I want to draw. And now I'm going to enlarge that onto this grid. I'm going to orient my paper, of course, this way. And I'm going to transfer the information this way. But in order to grid this photo, you're going to do the same thing. Just measure. Remove the extra. And then fold and go through this whole process again. So fold it in quarters like this and like this. And then you're going to make your marks. This time I'm going to suggest that when you make your marks, you do it with a ballpoint pen on the image. So if you're using a photograph from a friend or a family member and it's a real photograph, you might want to make a copy. So you're just going to go ahead and do the marks in both directions and, you know, do the grid just how we did it on here. So that's how you make a grid. And the next video will show you how to use the grid.